Avoid contamination and unsafe practices. We hear that time after time to be careful at nail salons. But there's a nail dipping powder that's causing some people to catch infections.
9 on your side's Raven Richard is live right now with more on how these infections are happening. And also, Raven, have you heard of any cases yet locally?
Hey, good evening, guys. I have not heard of any cases happening here locally, but it's something nail experts I talked to today want to make sure folks are aware of and just how this sort of thing happens. This dipping powder continues to be popular in some nail shops. It's not Becky Walter's favorite nail technique, but it's what some of her customers prefer.
It's basically a powder and liquid combination used to coat natural nail and add length to a nail.
But with its growth and popularity comes risk of infection.
Number one reason is sanitation, done incorrectly.
This happens when someone with unclean hands dips into the powder and another person dips into that same powder.
They have to wash with a nice, a good antibacterial soap, making sure that they're not only scrubbing their hands, they're scrubbing underneath their fingernails, the whole entire surface area.
Michigan requires shops to dispose the powder after each use. It's not required in Ohio, only suggested. So what's the main way infection can spread?
Say if you were to come in and you had some kind of cuticle infection, redness, bleeding, blister, anything around the surface area of the nail, at that point you would not dip, or they should not dip you.
Only sprinkle. Shay Horsley, owner of Nails by Gorgeous Shay, doesn't use the powder but knows about it.
With dip, you have to basically reuse the same powder. Some people might have like open cuts or any infection, and it's just cross-contamination.
Which is why talking to your technician and washing your hands will most likely help prevent infections from spreading. And speaking of talking to your technician, actually all 3 of our states have boards of cosmetology that you can actually contact. You can go to their websites, find out about local nail shops in your area, some of their ratings they've been getting, or if you need to issue a report to them or just need to ask a question about some of their practices. Live in Cincinnati, Raven Richard, 9 on your side.